This is just trying to show you exactly what I'm saying. So if I look across here, all around the main building, the back, the side of it, the other buildings, excellent signal. That. All right, so we are running a speed test here, and we'll just see what we get. All right, hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how I install a small, medium-sized business Wi-Fi network that's super easy. This is from HPE Networking Instant On, and they have a wide range of different access points that you can customize for your own needs. Now, for my setup, it's going to be to cover 4 different buildings and many acres of coverage for both inside and outside. So let me walk you through how you maybe design or pick these different access points, and then show you how easy it is to literally plug these in and expand your network, as well as be able to upgrade it over time very easily. So what I have here is a selection. I've had a few of these in the past. I actually bought a couple more outdoor ones. Some of these HPE Networking Instant sent me to do reviews, and I really like their interface. I'll show you on my tablet the app that's super user friendly. So you don't need a whole IT department to handle this, even though it is enterprise level. It is very easy to manage yourself as a business owner, our support there. All right, so let's start off by showing you a little bit of my facility and what I want to cover. So you can see here in the yellow line, that's an outline. That's about 4.3 acres. Really, if I could even get it to extend further out to the right, even better. So I'm trying to get 4 to 5 acres of Wi-Fi coverage on the outside, and that's where these outdoor units come. And then I also want to cover the main building as well as the 2 to 3 accessory buildings. So 4 different buildings I want to cover with Wi-Fi performance here. So if you look here at my property, this is just trying to show you exactly what I'm planning to do. Now I already have a system out there, so I'm replacing it with this one. So I have a pretty good idea where best place to place it is, and I have Ethernet run to a lot of these. That's, I guess, something to note is these can run over Ethernet for the backhaul, or they can be Wi-Fi, so a mesh capability where they have no Ethernet between the units. It's obviously best to have Ethernet whenever you can, but there are a couple cases where I don't. So I'll show you that here. So down here on the left, that's actually a building structure there by the pond. So that one is going to have just an outdoor unit. I'm not going to have one indoor because I think the outdoor unit can cover the inside of that little building as well. And then there in the main building, we have 2 outdoor ones. One is facing kind of towards that pond area, so it's going to send Wi-Fi wirelessly. There's no Ethernet between the main building and the pond. And then on the front side, that one is actually in the attic space, and it's pointing out towards the front of the main building to capture the driveway area. And then we have Ethernet going from that main building to that second building by the tennis courts, and that one is going to be plugged in via Ethernet then to an indoor unit. I'll probably put a AP25 there to get some good coverage. And then we have another AP27 on the back side of that building facing the last building in the far right, which will also get another outdoor unit. So if we focus in a little bit closer on the main building itself, you can see the outdoor units already talked about, but now you can see the AP22D. That one's going to be down there, and I really like this one for that because there's a space there where I have the printer and I have a computer already set up, and so this one I'm able to basically use it as a little switch to give Ethernet for those devices, even though I only have one Ethernet ran to the wall there. So that's where that one's going to go. And then the AP32 I'm going to use on the basement floor of this building, and that will get connection to like my main working computer and desktop here. And then the last one I'm going to put is up there. It's going to be actually on the upper level, and that one up there will probably be an AP25 to get good coverage. So if you look at this building, it actually has 3 floors on it, so there is 1 per floor is how it's stacked out, and that's about a 2,500 square foot footprint. So these should be good coverage both between the floor, and then some of them are kind of open cathedral area ceilings, so they should have good coverage in that space. Now for the app itself, there is a HPE instant on app that you can get, and you can see all my stuff is disconnected, so it's probably not really happy. It says my health is 0%, and I've already added some of these to it, but I will add some and show you how that works, and we'll get in more details once we have it set up. But what I do want to show you real fast is when you go to add a device, it actually walks you through the instruction. This is really all you have to follow. So instead of clicking search, click how to extend my network like it tells you, and then it asks you if you're going to do it via cable, so Ethernet cable or over the air. If you're doing it by cable, it's going to walk you through and tell you here's what you should do to make sure that you're connected, and then once you're powered up, you have them in the right place to go for and search them. Now there is one thing I will say about these units, and in this setup, it does not actually have a controller or a main gateway required. They actually manage the all the settings kind of through the cloud and through this app, and as soon as you plug in a new one, it's going to adopt those same settings if you give it to the same site location. That said, they do have, I think, some new smart gateways they're coming out with that have some additional features. You could add that to this, but I guess the point I want to make is this is really a Wi-Fi system. These are not a router or a modem that you're going to need to hook up to your ISP. So your ISP will still need to have a modem and a router to provide out IP addresses and do all the routing. So this is really in addition to that, and that's something I already have, my main router. So I will plug those up to that, and then these are basically just going to provide my Wi-Fi throughout this whole facility, and not actually providing the NAT address. You know, these will kind of be in bridge mode where they are just helping the devices communicate back to that main modem. Okay, so now if I show you a couple examples of speed tests I did, you know, this is obviously in front of the main building there, and you can see I was getting about 181 down and 55 up. And then here, this one is in the back side of the building, and this one is getting about 260 down and 60 up. And then if we go furthest away, all the way kind of the farthest back we could be, then it'll give about 70 down and 65 up. So you can see there's some variation, and certainly further away, this one is going through a Wi-Fi mesh connection, so you'd expect some slower speed there. And then here on the other side of the tennis courts, looking back at the main building, you can see about 258 down and 20 up. So still excellent speed all the way in the bag. This is further away, farthest away in the yard that you can get, about 40 down and 9.8 up there. So still usable speed, but that certainly you are seeing a drop versus the house. The house is probably, at this time, it does vary a lot, but somewhere around 400, 500 down at this time, and I think it was about 80, 90, or 100 up, roughly inside the house, best connection. Now here's another one. This one is one of the odd ones where I have kind of a cut through of the trees, and going down that, you actually still get a pretty good signal. You can actually barely make out that white little guy up there on the soffit is one of the APs, and so you're several hundred feet away, but you're getting 123 down and 35 up. So still very usable speed farther away than I would have expected. This one is down in the pond, and you can see you're getting about 67 down and 21 up. So again, you can be down here in the pond, you can have people connected to your mesh network. And now what's great with these systems versus a lower end system that, you know, is an extender or something like that, this is a true access point based system that is a seamless connection. So your devices will switch from AP to AP without dropping any connections. If you're in the middle of a video call, it won't drop. You won't have to reconnect or anything. This would all just kind of be seamless, in any device from here down in the pond to another building all the way farther, you know, 1,000 feet away, would still all be on the same network, and so they can communicate, share information and whatnot with them. So really cool system here. All right, so now I'm setting up actually the last access point down here by the pond, and up there at the main building, you can maybe point out just at the roof line is a white little dot. That is one of these other AP27s. I have the other one right here with me. So I think this is about 220 or 250 feet down the hill. And you can see up here up at the top of the ladder, I have a pole. So I had a previous AP up here Now this one I could get away with actually not even using a pole mount because I have the flat surface I could screw right into that side of the soffit there. But for this one I'm going to strap it onto that that pole, and then this will then beam it and get it onto the other side of this building, around here to the pond and all of this side yard here as well. So let me just hook that up real fast and show you what it does. Now I only have one real complaint about the install, otherwise it's fairly straightforward. The back bracket does come off, so if you need a screw in, you can just do the bracket and then slide the AP unit in on top, and it slides in and connects without a screw, so it keeps your hands free, which is great. On the bottom you have the weather tight seal. The problem with it is the weather tight does not go over a Ethernet jack with any insulation around it, any of the rubber. And most of the higher grade Ethernet cables, if you buy them, they have some kind of jacket over them, and so you have to cut that off. So this one is tighter than my last one to get over the insulation, so that's just a little annoyance. I just take a razor blade and clean it off, and then you're fine. So that's the only real installation issue I've had. All right, so now it's plugged in and powered on. It can take it up to 8 minutes to actually power up the first time. So watch the little blinking LED. It's kind of hard to see during the day, but it'll be like slow blinking green until it boots up. If you get a different color, obviously you can look at the troubleshooting to help you out. But once that is done and it's powered on, you can go here to my devices, and you can see I'm in the process of setting them up. I click for search my device. If it's on and is active, it is almost instantly found from what I've seen. So if it doesn't find it right away, maybe check it, make sure that it's all good to go. So I just, you can have multiples of them, and you can have them all get added, or this is just one at a time. So I just click add device. Now it's going to pull it in. You'll see it show up here in the bottom. That's like the serial number or whatever of that device, so you can rename it later once it synchronizes. It's going to synchronize, it might do updates, so give it a few minutes to do its thing, and then once it's all set, then it'll be ready to go. Now you can see the other ones are also syncing up, and it's because it's reconfiguring the mesh to make sure that it's connected to the best one out there. So this one should connect up to the north yard outdoor, which is the one that has the closest line of sight to it. So we'll let it do its thing here, and then we'll go set up the inside one out in building 2. All right, so for the wall or the ceiling mount ones, they come with a little clip here that you squeeze and twist to come off. So this is what you screw onto the wall, and then once you put it on the wall, it has a little centering nub in the center of the plastic piece that goes right in the center of it. And once you find that, then you just rotate it and it clips into place. So I'm just going to screw this bracket on up to the ceiling, and then we can pop on the AP. All right, so we'll just let that light, once it gets done slow blinking, we can add it to the app as well. All right, so I've seen these take quite a while when I first plug them in, because it changes all sorts of colors as far as flashing green, orange, all kinds of things. I think it does a lot of updates. So just give it some time, and then if you search and it doesn't find it, give it some more time. But you can see when it typically works, it goes right in. You can see also on the right side, that little squiggle means it's Ethernet versus last time you saw maybe the Wi-Fi one for the outdoor one. So I just click add device. It's going to now add that in to the site. Now I guess an important thing to note here is every time you add one, all you do is click add, and it's going to add all the settings from your previous one. So you only set up your Wi-Fi once, all your permissions, all that kind of stuff, you set it up once. You add a new device, it just becomes part of that system and expands out your network very seamlessly. So that's what's really cool about it. Now let's go into more details in the house, and we'll set up a test where I run all around the property and see how far the coverage is and how fast of a connection it gets. All right, so we are running a speed test here, and we'll just see what we get. All right, so I'm down here as far away as I can get from the main building there, and I just did a speed test using the Wi-Fi Man app, and I am on the 5 gigahertz, and I can see that I got 200 down and 63 up with a 6 millisecond jitter. So overall pretty good there. I'm pretty happy. My signal is minus 64 dB, which is really good signal. Now if you look up at that main building, you can see the little white dot up at the bottom of the roof line, and that's where it is connecting to. All right, so now I've been running this system for a while, so now I want to kind of give you a little synopsis of the settings in here and what you can see out of it, what I like and don't like about the app itself. So this is kind of the site dashboard. If you had multiple sites, you would have one for each site. You can go in here on the left side and do some site management, which would be really for adding new users. If you want to have additional users as a administrator or a viewer or whatnot, you could create those. You could clone the site, make a new site, or add new devices. And by devices, it means access points, not like a client, which would be a end user device like a tablet. So on here on this main one, I really do like the way this is laid out. Like I said before, it is designed for a business owner to manage their own system, not to have an IT guy. Now, obviously, an IT guy can do it as well, but this is very easy to understand. At the top, you get your health, and it just shows you if you're having problems with your network. And it could be lots of things, and I'll go into detail that here. But here it shows you at the top that it's 97% health. And then below that, you can see it says stable. So if I had problems, or if I unplugged some of these and they would drop off, then you would say that it would show like declining or improving. And then in the bottom there are some other conditions that it's showing. So if I click into this top section here, this is where it's showing me kind of an overview of the past 24 hours, any types of events, and as well as my health of the system. So there on the clients, you can see that shows 2 of them are poor with a red, 1 fair, and then 82 good. And what it's showing you here is these are the devices that are showing suboptimal client performance. And that just means that maybe their signal is not best. If I were to click on like this top one here, this one's showing you that its actual transmission rate is lower than expected. So that means that device is not getting as good of a signal, and there could be lots of reasons for that. But you can dive into it here. This is just a summary of what it is. Now it also has events up here. This is showing you all the different events that have happened. So if someone comes and a client connects, then it shows up there. Next down here is the active networks. You can see it said 2 of 3. And what that means is that my guest network is turned off, and then my VLAN default that I have, just one virtual LAN across that one is on. And you can see that the guest network, I can turn this on and activate it if I wanted to, and I've already set this up before where you can set it up to have either no security or certain security. But what I really like about it as well is if I connect to it, it's going to send you to a guest portal. And so if I click view guest portal, I can customize this. So I've added my Native Tainer logo there. I said welcome to the guest network. Of course I say like and subscribe because I always encourage people to do that. And then I can put in my terms and conditions here, my rules as well, and then click agree and accept, and you can have that accept go to a landing page as well. So this is all configurable. If I click accept there, I can send them here to my channel, and I can change background. So it's a little bit of an easy customization. This is really nice if you are a business that is looking to give guests Wi-Fi access, but you want to limit things, because not only in here, if I go to more options, then you can control what IP assignments they get, as well as when they can get access. So if you want it to only be open during business hours, so someone can't just come by and try to borrow or steal your Wi-Fi, you can change that. The other important part is bandwidth. So you can limit the bandwidth of both the client, so an individual user, or the total network of the client, of all the clients. So if you have a lot of guests and you want to say, hey, if I get 300 megabits per second download, I never want all of my guests combined to take up more than 100. You could have that set here, or you could also set a threshold for each client so that a single person can't be hogging all of the bandwidth as well. So that's some nice, simple configurations that I really like about this. There are some other options in here as well, as far as what you restrict. You can even restrict internet access altogether if you wanted to, or restrict certain ones. So there's also filtering, so you can block certain types of traffic, like adult traffic, or you can stop streaming services and other types of features there. All right, so if we get back here to the connected clients, you can see I have 85 connected clients right now at this one, and you can see that at the top it lists the red ones, which are the ones that have some connections issues, and then you can see all of these green ones in here as well. I can star certain ones. So I've starred this tablet and my Roku TV, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, you can have it give you a push notification when those devices connect or disconnect, but I can also click on this and get some more information. So I can see that right now I'm good, I'm online. It's an Android device. I can see what it's connected through. The IT closet is my access point that it's connected to, and I can see that I'm using Wi-Fi 6 on the 5 gigahertz radio, and I can see my download and upload rate of almost a gig there. So then I see my signal quality. I can also look at the stuff that's transferred. So I can see that right now, this is for the past 24 hours, that I've downloaded 884 megabits on this device and uploaded about 200. And it can get in here more details so you can see what types of content was, or what it classified the content as. It's not always right. You can see a lot of mine's actually uncategorized in there, as well as utilities. So if we go back here to the other page here, and you can also have a block list. So if there is someone that is abusing something or you want to keep them off, you can put them on a block list so they can no longer connect as well. All right, and then now on the bottom left, you can see just kind of a summary of all of the applications and all of the networks for the past 24 hours. So this is how much data has gone through. Now this is the Wi-Fi network, not the internet. So this doesn't mean I had 142 gigs of data coming or going from my ISP, but some of this would be internal to my network. So if I'm adding stuff to my NAS on my network or device to device, that would show up here. All right, and then here we can go to devices, which is the different APs, and you can see that they're all green, they're all online, and I can get in more details about this one as well. If I click on the IT closet one, for example, this shows you that it's good, it's online, it's AP32, tri-band Wi-Fi 6E. It tells me what version of software is running. It tells me how it's connected. Here I'll show you another one that's showing you that it's not uplink via hardline, but it says Wi-Fi. You can change your advanced LAN settings there if you wanted to. You can see that the LAN port's good, it's green, it's full 2.5 gigabits per second, full duplex. And then you can see that it's powered by PoE. If it was underpowered, it would actually show up here. I've had that before, if either your Ethernet line is too long or you're over subscribing your PoE switch, it will show up here as being under powered as well. And then on this, you can click clients and devices on this port, so I can get more details about devices that are on this. All right, and then below it on the radios, you can see that there is 2.4 and 5 gigahertz called out on there, as well as what clients are on it, what bandwidth the channels are on. And you can get further details by going into here and specifying specific channels. One thing that was weird to me is the radio frequencies. It allows you 2.4 and 5 gigahertz or 2.4 and 6 gigahertz, but for some reason you can't do all three of them together, which I was a little bit surprised by that, but that is what it is. And then here you can select enable the network, specific radio management. You can change the channel width, the channel selection, and the transmit power, all that on here as well. And then you can see you can do that for the 5 gigahertz one as well. And then if you hit the hamburger symbol in the top right, you can hit a locate. I think that makes the lights flash. You can hit restart, which will obviously restart the AP, or you can remove it from your inventory, which will remove it from your site. If I go to one of these devices that's Wi-Fi connected, you can see there under connectivity, it shows you that it has that little Wi-Fi symbol going between it and the internet or the other network. And then you can see that the uplink is through building 2 outdoor. So this building 3 outdoor connects to building 2 outdoor to get its connection, and then you can see that it has a good signal quality. So that's something good to check if you have mesh units. You want to obviously make sure they have good connection. All right, the other cool thing about the devices that I really like is the topology map. So this is cool because it gives you a quick summary of really how your network is laid out. And you can see for mine, most of mine is directly connected to the main hub, but then I do have the couple Wi-Fi mesh devices, which are at building 3 and down at the pond, and each of them only have really one device on them. All right, something I think is pretty cool on here as well is I can actually go to the hamburger and go to power schedule, And this allows you to actually set a power schedule for the PoE devices, so you can click them on and off. And this is mainly for me just the AP22D. So you can see on mine I call it main office, and this one has those ports, so I could assign it to all the ports or just decide to assign it to some of the ports for that scheduling. Okay, so in that bottom right corner, that shield there, this is where I can control application access. So this is where I can do it for all networks or just some networks, and I can tell it, okay, for the guest network, I can then go in here and tell it what do I want it to block. I can do adult content, I can do malicious and risky, I can do social networks and streaming if I wanted to, explicit content, whatever you want to control, gaming, you could check these off, and that will be applied to the networks that you choose, and then you can toggle this policy on and off however you would like and call it different names. Okay, so here is a app that I like to use. It's called NetSpot, and it's free for Android, I believe, but it allows me to go around and basically survey the property and get a good sense of the Wi-Fi signals that exist out there. So I started in the main building now, and I went basically in the main building a couple places, but then I focused on outside in the other buildings to see how big of a area that the Wi-Fi covers. Inside the main building, there's no problem with a 2,500 square foot footprint, and then multiple floors of the 3 APs that I have in there covering all of that. So there's no issues there. If I go around and look here at this map, you can see the numbers that's showing up is the dB signal strength that it has on there for this Wi-Fi. And basically the green is anything that's green or even kind of yellow is a pretty good signal. I would say anything that is a less negative number than -70 is good. 90 is typically like it doesn't work at all. So 90 is red, and you're not going to get basically signal in these places. So if I look across here, all around the main building, the back, the side of it, the other buildings, excellent signal that you're talking about, in the 50, 60 kind of worst case. But then in front of that main building there, we do see it starts to fall off a lot. You get the upper 70s, which is really not going to be a great signal. But then down here at the pond, you do see that you get some decent signal again with another AP down there. And then an example here. This map, of course, is not perfect because you can see where I walk is the blue lines and the blue dots is where it's surveyed. And then it basically guesses from there. But if there's things in between, you like here, there's trees here. So I would not expect me to get as good of a signal actually farther into these trees than the open grass space, but it doesn't have that detail. So just take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. So if I go over here, and this is a chart that I put together with a little bit of AI help to show you the ones that I have. So this smallest one here is the AP21, and this one is a great little small unit. It's designed for about 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. And you can see in the left column there that it is Wi-Fi 6, dual band. It does about 1.5 gigabits per second total aggregate data rate. It's a 2 by 2 MIMO. It has a 1 gig upload port on it, and it does power over Ethernet or 12 volt DC. It's made for indoors only, and it tells you the use case there. The next one I have is the AP22D, and this one's really nice because on the bottom of it, it actually has 4 Ethernet ports that are downlink ones. So this is great for putting it on your desktop, and then you can have 2 of them are PoE capable, and then the other 2 are just regular LAN ports. So that's a 2.5 gig uplink, but it's 1 gig downlinks on it. So that one's also good for about 1,500 to 2,000 square feet, they say. The next one I have is the AP25. These are the bigger ones here. This is their biggest unit, I think their most powerful one from a projection standpoint for coverage, and it does a max aggregate rate of 5.3 gigabits per second. So you see it has a lot more, and that's because it has a 4x4 MIMO antenna on it, and that one is therefore up to 2,500 square feet of coverage for just one of those units. So I have 2 of them. And then I have AP32, which is this medium-sized one here, and this is their, I think it's their first Wi-Fi 6E capable unit. Wi-Fi 6E has the 6 gigahertz band on it in addition to the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz band on it. So you can see there that it is a kind of in between of these other units with the Wi-Fi 6E capability. And then lastly, I have the AP27, which is the outdoor unit. And those ones are obviously designed for outdoor. If you look at how they're mounted, they have a nice aluminum mount here that you can screw to a wall, or you can also do a pole mount on the unit as well. So those ones have a little bit less of a throughput. Max throughput's a 2x2 antenna. It's dual band, but it's still Wi-Fi 6. So we will test those out. They don't give a specification, at least that I saw, for coverage, but we'll test it out and see how it goes. All right, so I must really commend HPE Networking Instant On for this system because it was super easy for me to install. I mean, the hardest thing for me is to get on the ladder, but literally I was able to unplug my old AP that I had set up there, plug in this one. Once I set up the first one with my site connection and my Wi-Fi name and that kind of stuff, every other one I literally just plug it in. It takes it a few minutes to boot up and provision onto the system, but then it was part of my network and it was flawlessly working and I haven't had a problem. They also seem to do a lot of smart adaptive stuff where at the beginning maybe they, as I'm plugging them in and installing them, they might be connected to kind of a weird AP from what I would have picked, but it self-healed, if you call that, like overnight. Like it started connecting to the ones I thought it should, and it seems to be running well. So it seems very foolproof. Plug and go. If you don't want any advanced settings, you don't have to. It will just kind of run what I would say is kind of the standard play. But then it does have some settings. They're a little bit hidden in there. You got to kind of maybe click here, there, twice or three times to get to them. But it has some of the more advanced features. But it's still easy to get to. I've had other systems that are more cumbersome, or you really have to know what you're doing in order to make the changes, and that's something that this does not have. So I do recommend this system. It does seem to be very user-friendly, yet pack a big punch from a business capability standpoint. So if you have any questions, do put them in the comments down below. I do read those and try to respond to them. And then always hit that like button for me down below and consider subscribing to my channel. And then if you want more information about these products, do see the links down below so you can get the latest and greatest information and pricing for them. So thanks. We'll see you next time.